Hi everyone, I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you the crochet method for the floral patchwork cardigan. For this electronic tutorial, you can check the pattern on the website. Just search for sosoje.com and go in to view it. This cardigan comes in two sizes. The crocheting method is similar. It's divided into three parts: the main part, the edging, and the buttons. Here, the main part is further divided into several sections. The crocheting process will be explained in detail. The whole piece is made up of hexagonal motifs and their variations joined together. After completing the main body, you'll crochet the edging around the neckline, front band, and cuffs. It's worth noting that there are many colors and yarns involved for these motifs. You can refer to the pattern for the color schemes, yarns, and arrangement of the motifs. Alternatively, you can choose your own colors based on your preference. During the video explanation, we won't specify the colors or yarns. All yarns are chosen randomly. Note that some of the yarns may be difficult to undo. You can first learn the technique before starting to crochet. Begin with the main part, which is divided into section 1, section 2, and the joining section. Start by crocheting section 1. Here, section 1 joins the front and back pieces together. Start from the right front piece. Go left across the back piece to the left front piece. It consists of motif A and hexagonal motifs. Join from right to left and bottom to top. The first motif on the right side of the first row in section 1. Is motif A. Use the chain ring method to start. Work back and forth. The stitch techniques used include chains, slip stitches, DC2 bobble, and double crochets. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a chain ring. Hold the yarn with the left hand. Hold the needle with the right hand. Begin by making a knot. Crochet 5 chains first. Then slip stitch in the first chain. Note that the right side of the chain should face you. Hook into the back loop to work. You can slightly tighten it. This completes the cast on. Now move on to the first row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Chain 1 for transition. Crochet a DC2 bobble through the loop. First, make 2 unclosed double crochets. Yarn over once. Insert. You can weave in the yarn tail together at the same time. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The first stitch is complete. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over once. Insert. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through the first 2 loops. The second stitch is complete. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The DC2 bobble stitch is done. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. We'll call it the bobble stitch from now on. Continue with 3 chains as a transition. In the chain ring, make 1 bobble stitch. First, make 2 unclosed double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops once. The bobble stitch is completed. Continue with 3 chains. 1 bobble stitch. 1 chain. 1 double crochet. The first row is complete. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side. You can trim off the excess yarn tails. Now let's work on the second row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. 1 chain for transition. Turn the work counterclockwise. In the chain space of the 1 chain below, make 2 double crochets. In the left chain space, make 2 double crochets. Three chains and 2 double crochets. For the next chain space, crochet using the same method. In the last chain space, make 2 double crochets. One chain. Finally, on the beginning chain, make 1 double crochet. You can locate the third chain from bottom to top. Pick up the 2 strands of the topmost chain for crocheting. If you're unsure about the position, you can also roughly pick up 2 strands and crochet. The second row is completed. Finally, crochet the third row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. 1 chain for transition. Turn the work over. In the chain space below, make 5 double crochets. Then in the middle gap between the 4 double crochets on the left, make 1 single crochet. In the next chain space, crochet 5 double crochets. Three chains and 5 double crochets. We will treat these 3 chains as the corner position. The double crochets and single crochet count as one side. Continue crocheting the sides and corners. Pay attention to making the single crochet in the gap. After completing the last side, make 1 chain. Make 1 double crochet in the beginning chain. Finally, leave a 5 cm tail, and cut the yarn. Weave in the ends on the wrong side. You can add a few more stitches if needed. This completes the 3rd row. The crochet tutorial for motif A is now finished. Next, start crocheting the 2nd motif of the 1st row. This is a hexagonal motif. Use the chain ring method to begin. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. When crocheting the final round, you need to join it with the first motif. Here, the diagram provides the complete pattern for the hexagonal motif. In practice, when you need to join, you will need to change the stitch at the corner position. The same applies to other motifs. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a chain ring. Here, I've already made the magic ring. Next, work the first round. First, chain 2. Then, make 1 double crochet into the chain ring. This creates a special bobble stitch. Continue crocheting this round while referring to the pattern. Finally, finish with a slip stitch in the special bobble stitch. The first round is complete. As before, treat the side with clearer texture as the right side. Now, continue with the second round. First, work 1 slip stitch into the chain space on the left side for transition. You can slightly tighten it. Then, make 3 beginning chains. Work 1 double crochet in the same position. 3 chains. And 2 double crochets. Continue picking up chain spaces, and working the corresponding stitches. Finally, finish with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. The second round is complete. Lastly, work the third round. Start with 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet into the gap on the right side of the beginning chain below. Then, follow the stitch pattern of the last row of motif A. Crochet the sides and corners. For the final round here, you need to join at the corner positions with motif A. You can choose any two adjacent corners. In this sample, the joining is made at the first and second corner positions. Start by working 5 double crochets. When you reach the corner position, work 1 chain. Then, take motif A, and join these two complete corners. Place the two motifs with their wrong sides facing each other. Match the joining positions. Join at the 3 chains of the corner position. Replace the middle chain with a slip stitch. And join it to the corresponding position. Hook into the corresponding corner and work 1 slip stitch. Do not tighten the joining slip stitches. Continue by working 1 chain. This way, the 2 corners are joined. Return to the hexagon motif and continue. Work on the next side. When you reach the next corner position, work 1 chain. Slip stitch into the chain space of motif A's left corner. Then work 1 more chain. This joins the 2 motifs together. Continue referring to the pattern and complete this round. Finally, end with a slip stitch in the single crochet stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. Everyone can now finish it. That concludes the crocheting and joining of the hexagon motifs. You can measure the dimensions of the hexagon motif now. Specifically, its width. Compare it with the measurements provided in the pattern. If there's a significant difference, you'll need to adjust your crochet tension and work it again. This ensures the final piece fits well. For the third motif in row 1 of section 1. It's still a hexagon motif. Crochet the first 2 rounds as usual. When crocheting the third round, join it to the second motif. The joining method is identical to the one used for the first 2 motifs. Note that you need to join it to these 2 corners on the left side of the second motif. These are the 2 corners of the third motif that will be joined. You can choose based on your own preference. Remember, the 2 corners must be adjacent. After joining, the motifs will form a long strip. Be mindful not to join in the wrong position. For the remaining motifs in the first row, follow the same joining method as for the third motif. Crochet and join as you go. Complete the corresponding number of hexagon motifs. The ending motif is motif A. Similarly, at the complete corner position, join using the previous joining method. Everyone can refer to the structure diagram and color scheme. Finish crocheting and joining the first row of motifs. This concludes the explanation for the first row of section 1. Move on to the second row of section 1. Start with the first hexagon motif. Here you need to join at the 3 corner positions below. The joining positions of the motifs can be referenced from the structure pattern. Both corners on either side of the joining side need to be joined. Here, the middle is divided. This is the first row. The second row starts by joining from the first motif. Note that the pattern here is an example for the small size in the sample. For larger size, the number of motifs needs to refer to the corresponding pattern. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the joining method for the first motif in the second row. First, crochet the first 2 rounds of the first motif. In the third round, the sample joins at the first 3 corners. When you reach the first corner position, match the fabric with the first and second pieces of the first row. Join at the 3 corner positions. For this middle joining position, you can slip stitch into the corresponding joining slip stitch location. For the third joining position, pick up and join into the chain space at the corner of motif A. Check once. After confirming there are no mistakes, continue to finish this round. Finally, cut the yarn. This way, the first motif is joined. Move on to join the second motif. This motif joins with the motifs below, as well as with the first motif. Joining need to be made at these 4 positions. Place the motif in the corresponding position first. Identify the joining positions, then join sequentially at the corner positions. Use a slip stitch to join at the already joined positions. After joining the 3 joining points below, join onto the first motif. Confirm there are no mistakes, then finish this round. The second motif is now joined. You can see that the second row of motifs is also joined in one line. For the remaining motifs in the second row, follow the same joining method as for the second motif. Join at these 4 positions below and on the right side. For the last motif, join by picking up the chain space at the tip of motif A. Everyone, refer to the pattern and complete it. That concludes the explanation for the second row. Move on to the third row now. The first motif is motif A. When joining in the third row, you need to join at the second full corner. And the last tip, with 2 corner positions of the motif below. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific joining method. Here, I've reached just before the second full corner. Let's join this corner first. After completing the stitches along the side, crochet 1 chain, then enlarge the loop. Insert from the right side into the corner position below. Draw the loop through. Continue to complete the double crochet stitch. For any subsequent double crochet positions that need joining, follow this same method for crocheting. Cut the yarn. This completes the first motif of the third row. For the rest of the motifs in this row, use the same joining method as for the second motif of the second row. Everyone, refer to the pattern and join all the hexagon motifs in this row. The last motif A needs to be joined at all tips except for the ending position. Please watch the demonstration. Here, I'll demonstrate the joining of the last motif A. I'll demonstrate using a sample. Some parts of the motif are omitted. Everyone, actually refer to the pattern and finish joining it. Start with 2 chains. Turn your work. Replace the last chain with a slip stitch. Join it to the corresponding position below. For the joining at the beginning chain positions later, follow this same method. Then continue crocheting normally and join at the corners. Finally, cut the yarn. This way, the last motif of row 3 is also joined. For the remaining rows in section 1, continue following the sequence from right to left and bottom to top, crocheting and joining as you go. Refer to the explanations for rows 2 and 3 for the method. Everyone, refer to the pattern and complete it. That concludes the explanation for section 1. Next, we'll learn about section 2. Here, for easier understanding, we divide section 2 into the right chest piece, the left chest piece and the back chest piece. Note that the left and right here refer to the garment when worn. The front pieces are crocheted together with the sleeves. Mindful that section 2 does not include the joining parts. First, crochet and join the right and left chest pieces separately. Then crochet and join the back chest piece. Let's start by learning about the right chest piece. Here, the motif joining still follows the sequence from right to left and bottom to top. Below, I'll briefly explain the joining order using the pattern. Note that the pattern used here is for the small size. The technique for larger sizes is similar, just with a different quantity of motifs. In the first row of the right chest piece, there are only a few motifs. The remaining part of section 1 is not joined. For the second row, continue joining from right to left. After completing the portion of the first row, subsequent motifs only need to be joined at their adjacent right positions. The section joining to the sleeve will be crocheted last. You can ignore it for now. The first motif in the second row here is motif B. Motif B starts with the chain ring method and is worked back and forth. The technique is similar to motif A. At the last row, you need to finish with a slip stitch, transitioning to the corresponding position. Let me demonstrate the technique here. Start with a chain 1. Turn your work. Pick up the chain spaces and crochet slip stitches. Then slip stitch once in the gap between the 4 double crochets. Continue to follow the pattern and crochet downwards. And join at the 2 corners at the end. Finally, cut the yarn. That completes motif B of the second row. The rest of the motifs in the second row are all hexagonal motifs. Please refer to the pattern to crochet and join them. Pay attention, for the motifs on the sleeve section, only join on the right side. At the end, join one motif A. Be mindful not to make any mistakes. Next, continue with the third row of the right chest piece. Start from the position of the second and third motifs of the previous row. Join to the left. The first motif is motif D. The rest are all hexagonal motifs. Here, motif D uses the chain ring method for starting. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The technique is similar to that of the hexagonal motifs. It just has a part missing in the last row. Here, I'll demonstrate the last row with a sample. While crocheting, you also need to join at the last 3 corner positions. Join with the corresponding motifs below. Start with 1 chain. Then refer to the pattern and crochet the corresponding stitches. Join at the 3rd corner with the 3rd motif of the previous row. As you work, join with the next 2 joining positions. After completing the last 5 double crochets, slip stitch into the space between the 4 double crochets. Break the yarn. That's how motif D is completed. And the joining is completed. The side of the piece forms a smooth curve like this. Behind the 3rd row, continue joining with hexagonal motifs. Join with the motifs below. Everyone, refer to the pattern to complete it. The beginning of the 4th row on the right chest piece is similar to the 3rd row. The first motif is motif D. Join with the 1st and 2nd motifs of the 3rd row. Afterward, there are hexagonal motifs. Similarly, crochet and join as you go. The last one is motif A. The 5th row consists entirely of hexagonal motifs. Everyone, refer to the pattern and complete this section's joining. That concludes the explanation of the right chest piece. Next, we'll move on to the left chest piece. The first row includes these motifs at the top of the left front piece. Similarly, work from right to left while crocheting and joining. All of them are hexagonal motifs. Temporarily ignore the joining part on the right side. Pay attention to finding the correct position of the first motif when joining. Make sure not to join incorrectly. The 2nd row starts with motif A on the far right. This motif A requires no joining. The motifs on the left are joined sequentially to those on the right. There are no positions below that need joining. For the last few motifs, while joining them to the ones on the right, they also need to be joined to the corresponding motifs in the 1st row below. The last motif is motif C. The crochet technique is similar to that of motif A. Here, I'll demonstrate the final rows joining using a sample. Start joining at the beginning chain position. Use the same joining method as for motif A's beginning chain position. Then continue crocheting and join at the corner position. After completing the 5 double crochets behind the last joining point, slip stitch into the gap between the 4 double crochets below. Fasten off the yarn. That's how you complete and join motif C. Then continue crocheting and joining simultaneously for the 3rd row. The last motif is motif D. Start from the first corner position on the outer side. Join with the 2nd and 3rd motifs from the bottom below. Match up at the corresponding positions. Join with the motif above and to the right. For the next 2 rows, continue joining from right to left. The motifs used have all been explained before. The joining method is identical. Everyone, refer to the pattern to complete the left chest piece. That concludes the explanation of the left chest piece. Finally, learn how to do the back chest piece. Continue joining in the order of right to left and bottom to top. Start crocheting and joining along the top side of the left chest piece for the first row. For the last hexagonal motif, join to the left chest piece. You only need to join the 2 corners on either side of the joining side, and the corner joining to the right motif, at the neckline position. For these 3 motifs D, you only need to join the 2 corners on the right side. This hexagonal motif on the left, while joining to the right motif D. You also need to join to this motif on the lower right chest piece, at these 2 corner positions. Pay attention when crocheting to avoid joining incorrectly. The neckline will form a symmetrical curve like this. Continue crocheting and joining with the right chest piece. For the next 2 rows, just continue to refer to the pattern for joining. Make sure to complete crocheting and joining the motifs of the back chest piece. This concludes the explanation of section 2. Finally, let's learn the joining section. This is divided into 3 parts: sleeve joining, back piece joining, and underarm gusset. Let's start with the sleeve joining. Again, join from right to left. Here, I'll explain the joining for the right sleeve first. On the first motif, join it to the 2 motifs on the 2nd row of the right chest piece. Below, you need to join it with the last row of the back chest piece. Specifically the 2 corresponding motifs on the left side. The position of the motifs may vary slightly between different sizes. Everyone, please refer to the pattern to find the corresponding motifs, especially for the smaller size. Do not join at this position on the right side. For the specific joining method, please watch the demonstration. Here, I will demonstrate using a sample. The sample skips some motif positions. It mainly demonstrates the method. This is the position of the right sleeve. This is the end part of the 2nd row of the right chest piece. The end part of the last row of the back chest piece. The first motif of the right sleeve joining is located here. For larger sizes, this might be a bit different. Everyone, please pay attention and refer to the pattern. Find the correct position. All the sleeve joining here are hexagonal motifs. The first 2 rounds have already been crocheted in advance. Below, we will start with the right chest piece. Join the 3 corner positions that correspond to the second row. After completing, place the wrong sides of the fabric facing each other. Match both sides of the sleeve. Find the corresponding motif from the last row of the back piece. Join at these 3 positions. Finally, break the yarn. This completes the first motif of the right sleeve joining. Continue to join the second one. The method is the same. All 6 corners need to be joined. Everyone can complete it on your own. For the following motifs, follow the same method used for the first 2 motifs. Join both sides of the sleeves entirely. When the last hexagonal motif meets motif A, join it at the chain space of the pointed end. Everyone complete it on your own. The left sleeve is joined in the same way from right to left. The first motif is joined at the far side. Then join the corresponding number of hexagonal motifs sequentially. Each corner needs to be joined. Pay attention to matching the motifs on both sides of the sleeve. Don't misalign them. Refer to the previous demonstration. Complete the joining of the left sleeve. That concludes the explanation of sleeve joining. Next, we'll learn how to join the back piece. At the middle position of the back chest piece, find the last row of motifs in section 1 that corresponds to the back piece. Match and join the corresponding motifs for the chest piece. The method for joining the motifs in the middle section is similar to the sleeve joining. All 6 corner positions need to be joined. Here, for the back piece joining of large and small sizes, the joining positions of the beginning and ending motifs are different. For the large size, join the first motif. Join it above with the corresponding motif in the back piece position. Join the 3 corners below with these 3 positions on the back chest piece. The ending motif is also joined at similar upper and lower positions. Everyone can complete this large size section by referring to the pattern. For the small size, join the first motif of the back piece. Simultaneously join it with the corresponding positions of the back piece and back chest piece. It also needs to be joined to the first motif of the first row on the left chest piece. Please watch me demonstrate the specific joining method. Remember, for large sizes, refer to the pattern for joining. You can skip this part of the demonstration. Here, I will continue demonstrating with a sample. The back piece is facing up here. This is the neckline position. Below is the back piece position. This is the back chest piece. And this is where the back piece joins. The first motif is in this position. The back piece joining are all hexagon motifs. The sample has already completed the first 2 rounds. For the third round, the first and second corners, join them first to the corresponding position on the back piece. The third and fourth corners should be joined to the corresponding corners on the back chest piece. That is, these 2 positions. The last 2 corners need to find the first motif of the first row on the left chest piece. This is the row with the gap, as shown here. It's the first motif of the first row on the left chest piece. Join the corner positions on both sides of this empty side. This way, the first motif of the back piece is joined. For the remaining motifs on the small size back piece, join them between the back chest piece and the back piece. While joining this last motif to these two positions, it also needs to be joined to the last motif in the first row of the left chest piece. Join the corners on both sides of this empty side. The method is similar to the method used for the first motif. Everyone, take a look. This is the last motif of the small size back piece. This is what it looks like after the joining is completed. After the small size is joined, a pentagonal space will form at the armpit position. After the large size back piece is joined, a triangular chain space will form at the armpit position. Everyone, refer to the pattern and complete it. This concludes the explanation of the back piece joining. Finally, let's learn about the underarm gusset. The crochet method for the gussets differs between the small and large sizes. You can see here on the pattern, the sides of the underarm gusset are marked with different colors. This indicates that they correspond to the sides of the same color. Everyone should refer specifically to the pattern you have received. If the pattern isn't very clear, you can observe the completed joining section of the actual project. After the large size is joined, a space with 3 sides forms at the armpit position. For the small size, a pentagonal space forms. For both sizes, the gussets are started with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The technique is similar to the hexagon motifs. For the small size, it's a star motif. For the large size, it's a triangle motif. In both cases, at the final round corners, join to the corresponding joining points of the chain spaces. The joining method is the same as before. You just need to find these missing chain spaces, and then join them at the corresponding joining points. Pay attention that the yarn and colors for the gussets are random. You can choose based on your preference. Make sure to complete the underarm gussets on both sides. That concludes the explanation of underarm gussets. Up to this point, section 2 is now complete. Next, we'll learn how to crochet the edging. It's divided into neckline edging and cuff edging. Let's start with the neckline edging. Work along the sides of the front pieces and the side of the neckline. Crochet back and forth in rows. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with the first row. Begin at the bottom-most motif on the left front piece. Work on the wrong side. Pick up the side chain space to join yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet into the chain space. Then, along each row side of motif A and the starting chain position, crochet 1 single crochet respectively. Use 2 chains as a transition in between. Don't forget the joining spot. After completing the corresponding single crochet in the last row, make 2 chains. Crochet 1 single crochet at the joining spot. For the subsequent motif A, follow this method to work all stitches. Note, exclude the first single crochet. Continue with 2 chains. Then, on the hexagonal motif, work 1 double crochet with an interval. Pick up the stitch and correspondingly crochet a single crochet. Make 2 chains for the transition in between. Pay attention, on the wrong side, the stitch is located at the upper left. After completion, crochet 2 chains. Crochet 1 single crochet at the joining spot. For the sides of the subsequent hexagonal motifs, follow this method to work all stitches. Next, following this method, refer to the pattern and on the sides of the fabric and similar sides, crochet single crochets and chains. The specific insertion point for the single crochet is as follows. You can also adjust according to the actual situation. Make sure to keep the fabric flat and aesthetically pleasing. After completing the single crochets on motif C of the left chest piece, chain 2. Then make 1 single crochet in the same chain space. Continue with 2 chains. Crochet a single crochet into the second double crochet from the left side. Work single crochets below, skipping 1 double crochet in between. Don't forget to crochet at the joining positions. Continue working downward. Continue crocheting the side of motif D by referring to the pattern. Then, follow this method to complete the row. Add 1 extra single crochet in the last insertion position. That completes the first row. Now move on to the second row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chains. Turn your work over. Crochet 2 double crochets into the single crochet below. Then skip 1 chain space. Make 1 single crochet in the next single crochet. Skip another chain space. Crochet 5 double crochets into the next chain space. We'll treat these 5 double crochets as one fan pattern. Continue by skipping 1 chain space, and making 1 single crochet. Keep going, skipping 1 chain space each time. Alternate between crocheting fan patterns and single crochets. Pay attention to making the single crochets into the stitches. The fan patterns should be crocheted into the chain spaces. When crocheting, you can adjust the insertion position based on your preference. Just ensure that the edging is flat and looks nice. in the chain space at the corner of the neckline. Try to crochet a fan pattern as you approach the corner. You can adjust the insertion points for the single crochets and fan patterns based on the actual situation, ensuring that you crochet the fan pattern in this chain space. Remember to crochet a fan pattern at the other corner as well, so both sides are symmetrical at the ending part of the other side. Follow the pattern to crochet the corresponding stitch techniques for a better appearance. You can also make this part symmetrical to the starting stitches. Adjust according to your own preference. Finally, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. That concludes the explanation of crocheting the neckline edging. Next, let's learn how to crochet the cuffs edging. Crochet in rounds around the cuff area. In the first round, work single crochets along the sides of motif A and the hexagonal motifs. The insertion point for the single crochet here is the same as the insertion point for the neckline edging. There's no need to crochet chains between the single crochets. This creates a closing effect for the cuffs. In the second round, alternate crocheting single crochets and fan patterns. Generally, follow a pattern of 2 stitches for the intervals. You can refer to the pattern, adjusting the intervals at the beginning and ending positions. You may also adjust according to your own preference. As long as the pattern joining looks nice at the beginning and end, that's fine. Everyone refer to the pattern to complete it. That concludes the edging explanation. Finally, sew on the buttons on the left front band and the left chest piece side. Secure the buttons on motif A and motif C. There are a total of 5 buttons. Pay attention to the corresponding positions on the right front piece. These need to have spaces for the buttons. You can overlap the front pieces. And determine the button positions according to the space locations along the side. Use any yarn to sew securely. Everyone completed according to your preference. That concludes the explanation for the buttons. Up to this point, the entire cardigan has been explained in full. If you have any unclear points while crocheting, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's family. Support your handwork experience. Share the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.